This is the Grassroots Education and Entertainment Network, your number one source of information, education, and entertainment. For honest, responsible, and dependable information, we stand supreme. To stay focused, inspired, and relaxed, choose green. Akabo, welcome to the traditional herbal health show. I would open by reciting Agiogbe. Let us not engage the world hurriedly. Let us not grasp at the rope of wealth impatiently. That which should be treated with mature judgment, let us not deal with in a state of uncontrolled passion. When we arrive at a cool place, we must rest fully. We must give full attention to the future, and we must consider the consequences of things, and this because of our eventual passing. Ashe, Ashe, Ashe. All right, on today's show, we are going to move a little bit away from the discussion of herbs. Today, what we are going to discuss is what is complementary and alternative treatment or therapies. All right, as there are very, very many of those, right? And sometimes a person in a health crisis does not have sufficient time to thoroughly investigate all these different modalities. So tonight, what I'm attempting to do is I am attempting to give a brief introduction or a brief explanation about some of these therapies and some of these modalities that are used in treatment of various ailments, diseases, as well as health complaints. All right. I would start off by talking a little bit about what is actually complementary and alternative therapy. Complementary and alternative therapy covers lots of different treatments. These include body-based therapies, meditation-based therapies, and herbal remedies, among others. All right. One of the major questions that people have concerning these therapies is, do they work? Because a lot of the traditional and stuff that is different from what your regular doctors would do, a lot of people look upon it with a great amount of skepticism. All right. So in response to, do they actually work? As with all therapies, different things work for different people. There is not much clinical evidence for many of these therapies, right? So normally if you go to your doctor and you tell them you're considering taking something, generally they're very hesitant to prescribe any of these treatments. In some cases, you may have doctors who have been exposed to some training, or in some cases where doctors themselves or their family has actually taken alternate treatment, that they would strongly recommend these things. All right. Before I go any further, I also want to point out that this show, we do not give medical advice. What we do is we provide information for people based on research that we have done or information that we have come across in communicating with people who are in the field and who work along with many of these therapies. All right. Now I want to get into some of the actual therapeutic modalities themselves. All right. Um, as we know, many of these therapies originate with people belonging to a variety of cultures, right? And some of them may seem a bit strange or foreign to us, with the exception of those that has been around for a very long time. All right, I would start off with this one that originated among the Chinese, and it's called acupuncture. All right, acupuncture involves inserting fine needles into specific parts of your body. This is believed to stimulate nerves and muscles, which may release natural pain relieving chemicals in the body. It is practiced in both Western medicine and traditional Chinese medicine. All right. Now, acupuncture is used for quite a variety of ailments, right? And in most instances, these needles are inserted to what the Chinese refer to as meridians. These meridians are pathways that goes along the body, but not on the surface, but under the surface. So by inserting the needles, they are able to reach these meridians. And these meridians are stimulated by a certain level of touch of these needles. All right. There are a couple of other treatments related to acupuncture, right? That some people use, like electrical stimulation, where they connect electrodes to the base of the needle and they apply electrical signals. All right. There are a couple of other similar modalities related to acupuncture, but may not include needle, like one called moxibustion, where they actually apply not very high heat, but a slight heat along the same meridian to increase circulation. All right. But we're not going to get into that too much. Let me stay on acupuncture. Now, the question is, what is it used for? Acupuncture is sometimes used to treat depression, anxiety, and sleep related disorders. All right. It is also often used to relieve chronic pain, which might be contributing to anxiety as well as sleep problems and problems with moods also. One of the common questions that people ask is, are there side effects, right? And is it safe to use or to have acupuncture performed on you? All right. Sometimes people experience pain, bleeding, or bruising where the needles puncture the skin. You should speak to your doctor before getting acupuncture if you are taking medication or have health problems that impact blood clotting, or if you have an allergy to certain metals, right? Of course, acupuncture should be done by a professional, such as a doctor or a registered practitioner. All right. The next modality I want to talk a little bit about is aromatherapy. All right, which to some extent could also be classified as a herb related therapy, because most of the essential oils are extracted from flowers, barks, and in some rare cases, flowers and fruits. All right. So, what is aromatherapy? Aromatherapy uses essential oils, which are extracted from plants, which I just mentioned, for healing. It can also be combined with other treatments such as massage therapy. Some people use essential oils themselves or products with essential oils, such as in candles, for example. So, what is it used for? Well, different essential oils are thought to be useful for different experiences. For example, lavender oil is commonly used for relaxation and sleep. Other oils may be helpful for different experiences. Are there side effects and is it safe? It is possible to experience allergies or reactions to oils, so you should speak to an aromatherapist beforehand if you have concerns. All right, does it actually work? Many people find aromatherapy helpful as part of a self care routine or for managing symptoms alongside with other treatments. It is unlikely to be able to treat a mental problem on its own. So, using the mental problem as an example, you may need to incorporate other things with the aromatherapy if that is going to be used. Now, I'm going to speak about something that has been controversial for many, many years, right? But the essential oils seem to now be more commonly used as a lot of the laws concerning this particular herb has changed over time, right? But we're going to discuss the oil. In this particular case, we are talking about cannabis based medicines, all right? Now, what are these cannabis based medicines? Now, cannabis based medicines cover a wide range of substances, including medical cannabis and cannabidiol oil. All right. Medical cannabis must be by prescription from a qualified healthcare professional. It is only prescribed for certain conditions, mainly for people recovering from chemotherapy, some type of epilepsy, and chronic pain. CBD oil, on the other hand, is available to buy legally from health food shops and pharmacies. It does not contain large amounts of THC, which basically is the part of the cannabis that makes you high. However, most CBD oils will contain a small amount of THC, and different brands will include different amounts. So, one of the common questions asked is what are they used for? Well, CBD oils are used for depression, anxiety, as well as for post traumatic stress disorder. Are there side effects and are they safe? Well, medical cannabis can cause behavioral changes as well as hallucinations, while CBD oil may cause fatigue and change in appetite. Neither of these are recommended for those of us who experience psychosis or have schizophrenia because THC can make symptoms worse. Possession of non medical cannabis is illegal in some countries. So, even though we're talking about cannabis, people always keep in mind that there are laws that govern what you can or cannot do, particularly with this particular herb or the oil, even. Right? Um, the question is, do they work? You know, is there evidence that supports CBD oil and medical cannabis can be helpful for anxiety? There's still a lot we do not know about how it works, but most CBD products are all made differently, which means they might not work at all for some people. It's currently unlikely that you will be able to get a prescription for medical cannabis for anxiety unless no other treatment has worked. All right. So the next modality for alternative treatment that we are going to look at It's herbal remedies. All right, and this is something that has been used for forever. Right, most traditions and culture do use herbal remedies. Right here in the Caribbean, we use a lot of Creole folk remedies. So it's a very common thing. We know all about vervine and Karaili and a lot of stuff that we even use for tea, whether it's tulsi or any other product, any other herb, right? Herbal remedies are substances that come from plants, which are used as a way of treating and preventing different health problems. All right. So herbal remedies, again, as I said, it's a very commonly used thing among most traditional societies, and the Caribbean here is no exception. All right, next on the list is homeopathy. Right, what is homeopathy? Homeopathy involves using extremely diluted, watered down natural substances to treat physical and mental health problems. Homeopaths believe that the more a substance is diluted, the more effective it will be. All right. So the question is, what is homeopathy used for? Some people find that trying homeopathic remedies work pretty good for stress, anxiety, and depression. Right? They find that it makes them feel a lot better. All right. Now, in terms of homeopathy, a question is, are there side effects and is it safe? Right? There are no major side effects associated with homeopathy. However, there is a risk that if you choose this as your main or only treatment, your mental health problems might get worse, and in some cases, your biological, physical health problem, depending on what it is you're trying to treat. Some ingredients used in homeopathy can also interact with other medications. So, that is one of the possible side effects of using homeopathic remedies together with medicines. All right. Now, the next question is, does it work? There has been a lot of research into homeopathy, and there is no evidence to suggest that homeopathy can treat any health condition. Some people find that they feel better while having homeopathy, but there is no evidence that homeopathy was the cause of that improvement. All right. The next thing on the list of alternative therapy is hypnotherapy. All right. So, what is hypnotherapy? Hypnotherapy involves being put in a deep, relaxed state by a hypnotherapist. Um, there are different types of hypnotherapists. They, there are different types of hypnotherapists and different types to be hypnotized. You should always be in full control under hypnosis, and your therapist should only use methods that you've agreed on and feel comfortable with. So, what is it used for? Many people find it useful in managing symptoms of anxiety, phobia, stress, anger, addiction, and compulsions in obsessive compulsion or compulsive disorder. Some people find it helpful for post traumatic stress disorder, but it is important that this is supported by a qualified professional and potentially alongside other treatment. Otherwise, it can make your symptoms worse. Are there side effects and is it safe? Hypnotherapy might not be suitable for you if you have a diagnosis of personality disorder or psychosis. It may make your symptoms worse. Or if you are due to be a witness at a trial. Does it work? Hypnotherapists use hypnosis to help you change unwanted thoughts and behaviors. They do this by using suggestion and by supporting you to increase your self awareness. It can be helpful for helping change behavior, but not everyone feels comfortable with being hypnotized or find that it works for them. All right, the next modality of alternative treatment I'm going to talk about is light therapy. Light therapy uses a strong light to stimulate sunlight and lift moods, right? Not sorry, not stimulate, but simulate sunlight. For information, well, light therapy is sometimes used for seasonal affective disorders. Some evidence suggests it might also be helpful for depression and depressive episodes in bipolar disorder. That happens during times of less sunlight. All right, for example, maybe during the winter. All right. The next modality I'm going to talk about is massage. What is massage? Massage involves working on the soft tissue of your body to help with relaxation, well being, and physical pain. There are lots of different types of massages and different types of massage therapy, such as shiatsu, Indian head massage, sports massage, aromatherapy massage, etc. etc. What is massage used for? Massage is often used as a well being or self care practice, as well as for pain or muscle injuries. Some people also find massage helpful with their mental health problems is causing muscle tension, which can happen in anxiety or post traumatic stress disorder. The next question is, are there side effects and is it safe? Well, massage is generally a safe practice. But if you have an injury, you should speak to your massage therapist beforehand. Does it work? There is not much research on massage and mental health problems, but many people find it helpful in managing their well being or as part of a self care routine. Where can I find out more? Well, of course, you could Google, you could speak to a general practitioner, and generally they can give you a recommendation to some sort of massage specialist. All right. Now, the next modality I'm going to speak on is meditation. And I think this is one that is greatly misunderstood. So I think it's very important that, the viewers take a time out to listen to this. Or if you have some friend or something who has a misconception about meditation, this would be a good opportunity for them to understand. So, what is meditation? There are different types of meditation, but all aim to quieten your mind and to put you in a state of calm, stillness, and rest. Some type of meditation may involve mindfulness or a spiritual element. There are many books, DVDs, videos, and information on the internet that you could find out about ways to learn to meditate, right, or to do meditation exercises. What is it used for? Well, generally it's used to improve your well-being, to deal with issues like depression, anxiety, and stress. Next question is, are there side effects and is it safe to use? Meditation is generally safe. However, if you experience dissociation, meditation might make your symptoms worse. Does it work? There are mixed results in the research about meditation for mental health problems, but many people find it helpful, a helpful way of managing feelings of stress and anxiety. Many people also use it alongside other treatment as a way of managing their mental health and well-being more generally. All right, we have things like there are so many, but I'm just going to name a few more, but I'm not going to go into explaining each of them, right? But there is mindfulness, which is a meditation technique. There is reflexology, all right, which deals with stimulating particular points of different parts of the body, like your hands, feet, face, and ears. There is Reiki, right, which involves balancing of energies in the human body. Right, this is generally like a non-contact form of massage where motions are done very close to the body and over the body. All right. There is spiritual and religious healing, which is also an alternative remedy. There is exercises like Tai Chi, for example. All right. Weighted blankets, yoga, right? And many, many, many more. But just for tonight, I just wanted to introduce a few of the alternative treatments that one could have if one was to experience different type of problems. Right? As many of these treatments are sort of drug free, and you really wouldn't have to worry a whole lot about having too many adverse side effects. All right. Um, in Trinidad, in Trinidad, generally, we have quite a few different modalities that some of them maybe I can talk about. We may have all heard the term jari. We have all heard about people who rub you and different things like that, which is a form of massage. But in a lot of cases, you have people who do bone setting. You know what I mean? There are people who do, when you have swollen joints and all that, there are people who do lymphatic drainage massage, right? There are people who do, you would always hear the term about when a person butchered fall, right? That's when that pelvic bone right there moves out of place. There are people who puts that back in place, right? There are people who reset your main nerves underneath your navel. There are people who also reset some of your main nerves in your lower back by cupping, right? And cupping is a cross-cultural practice, right? They practice it in Africa, in India, in China, you name it, in Arabia and in other countries, right? The only thing is there are different forms of cupping. The one that they do in the Middle East is called hijima, which has to do not just with cupping, but it also has to do with removal of the stagnant blood that could be causing blockages. All right. Now, I'm about to close off the show because it's been half of an hour. All right. First, I'd like to apologize for the host because she was not able to make it on to this week's episode and to last week's episode. But hopefully, she will be here for the future episodes. Right. Now, one of the viewers mentioned the problems that could take place if one was to go to for a massage or what we call locally a rub, right? And you have fractures, right? Normally, which I read, if you have some sort of an injury and you're going to be massaged, you have to inform the therapist, the massage therapist, about the injury so that they would know that there are certain areas of your body that are very sensitive and that they just need to be very careful about. All right. So I hope that sort of answers that particular question that the viewer may have. All right. Basically, that's the show for this evening. And I would like to thank you all for viewing. I would ask you all to like, to share, as well as to subscribe. And I would see you next week. And I would like to say Oda Bo.